Have you ever looked at a pile of trash and thought, what if this could become something beautiful? In today's video, we're not just recycling, we're reimagining. Because the truth is, beauty doesn't always start from brand new. It often begins in the forgotten, the broken, and the thrown away. Welcome to ModHaus DIY, where every piece of junk gets a second chance to shine. Today, we'll explore 15 plus zero-waste DIY garden border ideas that prove creativity and sustainability can live side by side. From glowing glass jars to rustic metal frames, you'll see how every bit of scrap can frame a masterpiece. If any of these ideas inspire you, don't just watch. Create your own version using whatever you have right now. And remember, maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind this content, there's a real story and a real family. This isn't just a video, it's a piece of my heart. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, it truly matters. When you hit that subscribe button, you're not just helping a creator grow, you're helping a dream stay alive. You're giving a small family hope, one click at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing me. In the gentle warmth of summer mornings, something magical happens when trash transforms into art. Those forgotten bottles once tossed away now stand proudly along the garden's edge, shimmering like jewels under the sun. Each color tells a story: green for growth, blue for calm, amber for hope. Together, they form a recycled masterpiece that not only frames the flowers, but reflects the heart of creativity and sustainability. These bottle borders aren't just decorations, they're symbols of change. They remind us that beauty can bloom from what we discard. When sunlight hits the glass, the garden lights up with living color, making every visitor pause in wonder. Even at night, when tiny solar lights glow within the bottles, they turn the garden path into an enchanted trail. This is more than DIY. It's a zero-waste dream that celebrates renewal. It's about creating something strong, lasting, and meaningful from what was once considered useless. With every bottle placed in the soil, you're shaping not just a border, but a story, one that connects art, nature, and hope for a greener world. In a forgotten corner of the backyard, pieces of rusted iron begin their second life. Once part of an old bed frame, these twisted bars now stand as elegant guardians of the garden, strong, artistic, and full of soul. Under the summer sun, their weathered surfaces glow with shades of bronze and gold, telling stories of years gone by. This DIY transformation blends strength with nostalgia. Each curve, each rusted pattern brings charm that modern decor can't replicate. It's sustainable art, crafted not from new materials, but from the courage to reuse and reinvent. Around bright marigolds and dancing daisies, the metal frame edging forms a sturdy border that will endure season after season. When rain falls, droplets cling to the metal like tiny jewels, adding another layer of beauty. And at night, when soft lantern light flickers across the iron, the garden turns poetic, alive with warmth and memory. This isn't about perfection, it's about purpose, turning rust into something radiant, forgotten iron into lasting art. In the end, it's proof that even the toughest, most weathered materials can bloom again when placed in the hands of imagination. Once forgotten in dusty cupboards, old teapots find a second life in the garden, where imagination brews stronger than tea. Along the edge of a sunlit path, they sit like storytellers, each one overflowing with flowers and color. Their handles curve gracefully, their spouts spill blooms instead of tea, and the air fills with the scent of summer and renewal. Every chipped enamel and faded color tells its own tale of time. But here, imperfection becomes charm. Lavender, marigolds, and moss fill the teapots, turning them into living sculptures that surprise anyone passing by. Under the soft light of morning, their silhouettes shimmer against the bouquet of the garden, a mix of nostalgia and joy. When dusk falls, fairy lights dance through their handles, and the border glows like a trail to a secret garden. It's whimsical yet real, something anyone can build with a few old teapots and a heart for creativity. This is what upcycling truly means, giving beauty a second chance. A simple teapot becomes proof that magic doesn't need perfection. It only needs purpose, patience, and a little dirt under your fingernails. There's a certain beauty in the broken, especially when it blooms. What once was a shattered pot, discarded and forgotten, now becomes the soul of a cascading garden masterpiece. Layer by layer, each cracked piece finds new purpose, cradling soil, moss, and small flowers that seem to spill downward like a gentle stream. Morning light touches the terracotta edges, and the textures come alive, rough, warm, full of history. Between the cracks, ferns unfurl, succulents trail, and life flows again. It's nature's poetry, where imperfection becomes the design. These DIY broken pot cascades aren't just garden decor. They're a quiet celebration of resilience. Every line, every fracture, tells a story of renewal. Under soft rain, the water trickles through the layers, making it look as if the garden itself breathes. And when night comes, tiny solar lights turn the cascade into a glowing sculpture of life reborn. This is the heart of zero-waste creativity, seeing beauty in what's broken and strength in what's been forgotten. It's proof that even the smallest fragments can build something greater when placed by hands that believe in second chances. Sometimes strength hides in the simplest materials. That old tire, once rolling down endless roads, now rests peacefully in the garden, reborn as something beautiful and useful. Cut into elegant strips and painted in cheerful colors, it curves naturally along the flower beds, giving structure, durability, and charm. Unlike plastic or wood, these tire strips never rot or fade. They bend with the shape of your yard, hugging the soil like protective armor. Under the morning sun, their soft pastel shades brighten the garden. After rain, water droplets sparkle on their surface like jewels. It's tough, practical, and surprisingly artistic. This DIY transformation is a perfect blend of sustainability and creativity. No waste, no limits, just imagination turning industrial leftovers into nature's frame. Whether outlining herbs or protecting flower beds, the tire edging stands as a symbol of resilience and renewal. At dusk, when solar lights cast a golden trail along the rubber border, it feels like the earth itself is smiling, grateful for being given a second chance. From the highways of yesterday to the gardens of tomorrow, this upcycled tire edging proves that beauty can roll forever if you just know where to look. Sometimes the most beautiful borders come from the simplest things. Wooden crates once used for fruit, wine, or shipping now find new purpose in the garden, forming fences that tell stories of hands, time, and nature's patience. Each crate carries the marks of its past: rough textures, faded paint, tiny cracks. But when placed along the garden edge, they transform into something full of character and warmth. Filled with herbs, wildflowers, or even small succulents, they breathe life back into what was once forgotten wood. Morning light glows softly across their surfaces, revealing the golden tones of the grain. Rain adds depth and charm, giving the border a touch of rustic authenticity. And when night falls, tiny string lights turn the crates into glowing frames of life. This is the art of mindful DIY, upcycling that connects creativity with sustainability. It's about building not just a border, but a story of renewal, simplicity, and soul. Because in every reclaimed piece of wood lies a quiet reminder: beauty doesn't always need to be new. It just needs to be loved again. When the sun fades and the garden grows quiet, the lanterns begin to whisper. Made from old tins, forgotten lamps, and rusted metal, these upcycled lights transform the night into poetry. Their soft glow dances across the pathway, guiding steps and warming hearts under the calm of the summer sky. Each lantern tells a story of reuse, patience, and simple beauty. A hand-punched tin can become a constellation of light. A cracked glass jar turns into a miniature star. Together they line the path like fireflies frozen in time. This DIY creation doesn't just light your garden, it gives it soul. Every candle flicker reflects sustainability and imagination, reminding us that illumination can come from the humblest of materials. Rain makes them shimmer brighter. The wind makes their light tremble softly, alive and human. And as night deepens, the lantern glow pathway becomes more than decor. It becomes an experience. A promise that even in darkness, something old can shine again. That's the real glow of upcycling. Finding light in what others call waste, and turning every step into a gentle reminder of renewal. Once abandoned in dusty corners or forgotten attics, these old chairs now rise again, standing proudly as keepers of summer blooms. Their chipped paint, curved frames, and soft scars tell stories of time, now reborn as borders that blend art with nostalgia. Each chair cradles a pot of flowers, turning emptiness into abundance. Where there once was a seat, now blooms life, lavender spilling over the edges, petunias glowing like soft confetti in the morning sun. They line the path like old friends sharing stories in silence, each one unique, yet part of something whole. As daylight shifts, their silhouettes cast poetic shadows across the soil. Rain deepens their color, and when dusk falls, string lights twinkle above them, turning the garden into a dreamscape of light and memory. This is the beauty of upcycling, where time-worn objects are not discarded but rediscovered. A vintage chair line isn't just decoration, it's emotion and structure. A reminder that grace can outlast function, and that what once sat forgotten can now stand eternal, guarding the blossoms of summer with quiet dignity and charm. Who would have thought that something as small as a bottle cap could bring so much life? Once tossed aside, these tiny circles of color now form the heartbeat of a vibrant garden border. Each cap, whether metal or plastic, finds its place in a pattern that celebrates creativity, patience, and zero waste. Under the summer sun, the mosaic glows like a rainbow lying on the ground. Reds shimmer beside blues, yellows wink between greens, and together they frame the flowers with playful elegance. When it rains, droplets cling to the caps, turning them into tiny mirrors reflecting the sky. This DIY project isn't about perfection, it's about imagination. It's about seeing art where others see trash. Every color, every curve, tells a story of reuse and joy. Kids love it, neighbors smile at it, and the earth thanks you for it. As night falls, hidden solar lights give the mosaic a soft glow, like treasures scattered along the soil. Bottle cap mosaic edge proves that beauty doesn't need luxury, it only needs vision. Because even the smallest trash can build the brightest garden if touched by a creative hand. Strength can be beautiful, especially when it's reborn. Old concrete blocks, once part of walls or sidewalks, find new purpose in the garden as borders that stand both strong and stylish. Their rough surfaces tell stories of time and endurance, while plants bring softness and color to their edges. Under the summer sun, the blocks form clean, grounded lines that balance nature and structure. Flowers burst from their hollow centers, petunias, succulents, and marigolds painting the gray stone with life. It's industrial art meeting natural beauty. Rain deepens their tone, turning dust into sheen. Moss creeps gently across corners, adding texture that only time can create. And at dusk, when solar lights trace along their edges, the garden glows like a modern sculpture, simple, honest, and enduring. This DIY idea is not just about recycling. It's about reimagining permanence. The concrete block reuse border doesn't fade, doesn't crumble easily, and doesn't need perfection. It's proof that beauty can be built from what others throw away. A garden edge that stands the test of weather, time, and trend, because sustainability should be as strong as the earth it protects. Every drawer once held memories, letters, linens, and forgotten treasures. Now, they open again, not for storage, but for life. Along the garden border, these drawers form steps of color and texture, each one blooming with something new. What was once confined indoors now breathes under the open sky. The worn wood tells stories of time, while bright flowers spill out like laughter. Herbs, moss, and creeping ivy cascade gently over their edges. Morning light paints them in gold, rain deepens their color, and evening turns them into glowing chests of nature's jewels. This DIY idea celebrates renewal and nostalgia at once. It's not about perfection, it's about purpose. Each drawer finds strength in reuse, beauty in imperfection, and life in soil. Together, they create a garden border that feels alive and deeply personal. Under the soft hum of summer nights, these drawers remind us that the past can grow again, that the old can still give life, color, and joy. Because sometimes, the best place for a forgotten drawer isn't in the attic. It's under the sun, surrounded by flowers, telling stories in silence. There's something beautiful about rust. It speaks of time, weather, and resilience. These old buckets, once forgotten in barns or sheds, now stand proudly as part of a garden reborn. Their faded colors and worn edges tell stories of years gone by, but now they hold life instead of dust. Each bucket becomes a vessel of renewal, cradling flowers that bloom in wild abundance. Bright marigolds, soft lavender, and white daisies spill over the rims, contrasting the deep orange and brown of aged metal. Under the morning sun, the buckets gleam like relics of the past given purpose again. Rain deepens their patina, turning rust into art. At night, the soft glow of solar lights dances along their edges, giving the garden a cozy, nostalgic glow. It's a perfect harmony between decay and rebirth. The rusted bucket line isn't just about recycling, it's about reverence. It's a tribute to durability, to things built to last, and to the magic of seeing beauty where others see ruin. Because when nature meets history, even rust can shine brighter than gold. When daylight fades and the garden grows still, the glass jars begin to glow. Once empty containers of everyday life, they now hold something far more magical: light. Each recycled jar becomes a lantern, spreading warmth and tranquility across the garden path. Under the summer twilight, the jars shimmer like fireflies caught in glass. Their soft glow reflects off petals and pebbles, creating ripples of gold and amber on the ground. Rain adds a gentle sparkle, turning each jar into a tiny world of reflections and hope. It's more than decoration, it's transformation. This DIY idea turns waste into wonder, proving that beauty doesn't have to come from something new. It can come from what you already have, reshaped by imagination and purpose. At night, when the garden hums quietly, the glass jar glow edging becomes a living art piece, inviting, serene, and deeply human. It reminds us that even the smallest light can change how we see the world. And sometimes, all it takes to create magic is a jar, a flame, and a heart that refuses to throw things away. Once used to carry soil, stone, and sweat, these old wheelbarrows now carry something gentler: life itself. What was once rusting away behind sheds now stands tall, reborn as a garden's proud edge. Their worn metal, chipped handles, and solid frames tell a story of labor turned into beauty. Inside, the soil cradles color. Petunias spill over the edges, ivy trails gracefully down, and small marigolds shine like captured suns. The contrast between iron and bloom gives the garden a balance: strength meeting softness, work meeting rest. When rain falls, the surface gleams. When evening comes, the metal glows beneath soft solar lights, casting warm reflections that feel almost sacred. It's a transformation of spirit as much as of form. This wheelbarrow wall proves that even the most rugged things can become art when touched by care. Each piece is a monument to endurance and imagination. A border that reminds us beauty often hides in the things that once carried our burdens. Now, instead of hauling soil, they hold stories, and they bloom with second chances. Every fence once marked a boundary, but when it's reborn, it frames beauty instead. These old wooden slats, once weathered by wind and rain, now stand as elegant edges for a thriving summer garden. Their rough texture and soft tones blend perfectly with the soil and flowers they protect. Each board carries the memory of seasons past, sunlight, storms, and silence. Yet here, they've found peace. Staggered in height, they form a rhythm of nature's heartbeat along the path. Daisies nod between the gaps, moss creeps gently up their sides, and every imperfection adds to their charm. This DIY idea isn't just about recycling, it's about respect. Respect for materials, for craftsmanship, and for the patience of nature. When the rain falls, the slats darken with richness. When the sun rises, they glow like honey. By night, with the soft glimmer of hidden lights, the recycled fence slat edging becomes more than a border. It's a living frame for life itself. Proof that what once divided can now unite. What once stood forgotten can once again stand with purpose, holding not walls, but flowers.